Hey everyone, Tom Seymour here. I'm back with an update. Haven't done one of these updates in a while because I've been concentrating on this thing called the $500 feature, which is kind of going through how I made some of these independent films, which is going to tie into some of the things that have been going on. I'm just going to hit this again one more time briefly, but the VHS Massacre 1 and 2, these are documentaries that I made for $500. They recently got reviewed in the New York Times, and both were reviewed positively. The second one was absolutely glowing, which is very strange, honestly. To some degree, I guess it makes sense. I finished the second one in 2020, and it really didn't hit some of the free streaming like Tubi and Freevee and some of the other places until like this year. So it makes sense why it was found, but it's part of this article called Beyond the Algorithm. And it was kind of more about like hidden gems. So it was pretty awesome, pretty amazing news. But one of the things that I found was that it really didn't do anything for my career. Like there was nothing really happened. And I was thinking, if it had been 15 years ago and I got two feature-length documentaries, good reviews in the New York Times, I would think that would actually make your career. Like maybe you could then just do that for full living, rather than having to work a day job like I do. But we're in 2023, and so New York Times, 9 million people read it a day. If Mr. Beast posts a video, what does he get? 9 million in an hour, So strange days, but that being said, I'm still really proud of it. It makes me think about what to do next exactly. Another really awesome thing that happened was I did this. I released this film called Exorcism of Fleete Marish. This is a film I directed years ago, but this is sort of a new cut with a lot of new footage, new score. It's black and white, different aspect ratio, full re-edit with additional footage, and new score. And so it was more than just a director's cut. So I put it out in earlier this year. And I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't make, I put it out through MVD. I'm still in the negative for what I had to put into quality control and closed captioning and all that stuff. That being said, when they put it out, just a few weeks ago, looks like 3 weeks ago, Horror Central, which is this, it's this whole network of YouTube channels. It's very fascinating. There's Documentary Central, there's Drama Central, and this is Horror Central. And it's got a ton of subs, 600,000 subs. And so far, it's already got 65,000 views. So who knows? I mean, this thing could crack 100,000 views on just this YouTube channel, which for a feature-length film, that's a much different experience than... I did a couple YouTube videos that cracked 10 million, and one cracked, it was like 2.5 million. I have a few that were 2 million. That's a much different thing than, I would say, having even 100,000 people watch your feature-length film, because the impact is greater, and typically, it means something different. That being said, I'm fully aware, like, this is a sort of merging. We're seeing this happen as Hollywood, Silicon Valley essentially ate Hollywood. And it belongs to Silicon Valley. And then now we've seen YouTube become the biggest streaming platform there is. And 50% of households now stream YouTube on their TVs. So they have these beautiful 60-inch TVs, and they stream YouTube on them. So now something like Horror Central is starting to make sense, where they can put the thing up in 4K, and they can and you could stream from your TV, and so people might have the appetite to go to YouTube for feature-length films, whereas and they've had feature-length films on there for probably over a decade, but I'm saying like some of the more, let's just say, average person is doing it more. And as people the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. They're looking to shed a lot of these streaming sites that they never watch anyway, me included. And so I probably 90% of the content I watch is on YouTube. Because frankly, some of the shows are more interesting and the personalities are more interesting. You see that on some of the network television, like the late shows, there's such a large edifice like supporting the talent to try to make it interesting programming. And I mean, the sad thing is, the big YouTubers who have really made it, it's really like Darwinism. Like they're that good, that's why they're there. So it's been an interesting evolution. I started out at NBC Universal Digital, and then Black 20 was independent, and it was the earliest. We were on board with the earliest era of YouTube, you could say, and so I've been able to sort of watch this thing evolve. So it's been interesting. But so anyway, Exorcism of Fleete Marish, it went on a few different sites. There's something called Fossum. Instead of Awesome, it's Fossum. That's a Roku channel, so it's on two of these Roku channels, Horror Central, and then it's also like on DirecTV, which is like cable, so it's very interesting. I have to say that's why I love MVD, because they will take low budget films and distribute them, and they're always finding the newest interesting platforms to put these films on. So it's like this VHS Massacre 1 and 2 are free on Tubi if you want to watch them. The viewership is grown, I think, just because people like free stuff. They don't mind watching a few ads, and they're tired of paying $100 for cable when there's nothing to watch on there anyway. So it's very interesting. So check out Exorcism of Fleete Marish. If you like sort of old school monster movies, I'd say the closest thing I'd compare this to is like Creature from the Black Lagoon, maybe, but more with an exorcism angle. And yeah, it's interesting. When I rebranded it as an exorcism movie, I thought, well, I thought that was a good angle, because that is a central part of the plot. And but it was funny, shortly after that, the Pope's Exorcist came out, and now there's a new actual legitimate Exorcist movie coming out, which is pretty fascinating. So maybe it's catching a little thunder from the new Exorcist movie. And that's something companies used to do all the time. I remember there's this company called Asylum. I think they still exist. And they were hilarious. So, like, when Transformers came out, they would make Transmorphers. When Thor came out, they'd make Almighty Thor. So they were constantly doing these really hilarious, not B-movie knockoffs, and I think it actually worked, So anyway, I'd say that's about it. I'm going to I would say probably in this week or next week, there's going to be a new $500 feature segment. If you look through the YouTube channel, there's, I think, 11 of them so far. And it's anyone who wants to make a no budget film. Just if you want to, it's something you can just put on your TV and maybe do something else and just listen, and whatever makes sense to you, you take note of it. But essentially, it will teach you how to make a no-budget film. The best template, I think, is an 11-day template. Participating in a few projects, Greg from Fanzine is working on a documentary. I believe it's called The Importance of Independent Film. Excited to... I provided an interview for him, and so it's looks like a very cool documentary, and I'm very excited for him. And then... Tim Kulig, my best friend and does all the music scores for my projects, has a new album out. It's an 8-bit album. And if you want to check out his stuff, it's called Tim Kulig Free Music. And it's great for any independent content maker who needs royalty-free music. So check him out. All right, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.